You look at cows that live in windy areas, and central BC was like that, and certainly southern Alberta is known for its wind. Those cows know that just because the wind's blowing doesn't mean they don't go out to eat. They go out and eat. Cows learn. They learn what they can tolerate.
Well, when we first moved, we put up some permanent windbreak fences where we thought would be a good shelter, and they use those quite a bit. And then we've bought in a few movable windbreaks that we can set out and move back out of the way again in the summer. We did plant a few trees, but we're still waiting for them to grow.
When we first started bale grazing, I guess we put out wind protection, we put up windbreaks and had them available for the cows to use. We found that the cows really didn't use them, and even after a few bad winter storms, the cows seemed to go to the bales and hunker down in the bales for protection. So at this time we don't put wind protection out for the cows anymore, and they seem to do just fine with the bales as their protection.
And when you lay out your bales, you can take your prevailing wind into account. I mean, if you get behind a whole bunch of bales, they've effectively blocked a lot of the wind. And a cow in good body condition with a good hair coat, getting enough to eat, she can keep herself warm.
We've gone from round bale shelters where we build a row every other year, so that as we feed one row, we have a new one behind it each year, and we feed year-old straw. That way the cattle eat it better, and it always leaves one shelter built. And this year we've tried behind us here, because we bought square bales, we bought flax straw, which supposedly will not rot, and we hope to get more years than 1 or 2 that way. It's to extend the lifetime. Plus, it was an opportunity in the grain industry where guys had to bale their flax straw this year to get rid of it, and they couldn't sell it. So for the price of the baling fee, we could get straw. It got us a cheap windbreak.
You can see this year we left spaces between our flax bales, and typically we butted everything up. But we found over the last 2 winters where we had tons of snow that it made interesting banks that were in our gates and other issues. So we've just tried something a little bit different.
The portables are nice to be able to, make any field a wintering site if you have to. Yeah, if they're not moved around enough, they become a permanent shelter pretty fast. With a little bit of snow and the cows standing on the legs of them, they freeze in pretty quick.
And trying different windbreaks, we found some that really worked the best for us, and they were the ones that had a wide base on them and had skids, so they could actually be towed in tandem around the field, and didn't require a tractor to move them. So to our philosophy of not having to start a tractor every day, gave us the option of being able to move windbreaks also.
They get, fresh corn once a week, which means they're getting fresh ground once a week. And we do find when it's windy, the corn acts kind of as a natural windbreak for them.
For providing some environmental protection, initially we will probably go with just chopping or windrowing some straw out in the field in conditions of say -20 with no wind. We'll use portable windbreaks. We try to keep the manure spread out as much as we can to reduce that cost. But once you get into the December, we will start bedding packs and make sure that they're well protected from the elements.
We're bale grazing our bulls this year. Now they will bed in the hay most of the time, but when you get to that last day of a set of bales, I want to make sure that I know that those bulls can go lay down on some straw. We've got portable wind panels set up to create a sheltered spot for those bulls, because it's critical to protect them from a cold wind and give them a place to lay where they're safe. The cows that are out grazing out on our lowland, there's just no point in taking any bedding out to them. Those cows scatter out, move around. Always lots of fresh snow to lay in. There's willows for wind protection, and we've found when the snow gets really deep, like 2.5 feet kind of thing, just lay down. And it's remarkable because that tall grass has held the snow up higher, so it's deeper. But where they've been grazing, it's lower. When they lay down next to that edge, where they haven't grazed, they're out of the wind.